Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody here to the first meeting of the Lee County Board of Commissioners for 2020. At this time, if you'll stand and join me for a moment of silence as we begin the year, and then we'll open with the pledge. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. At this time, are there any additions to the agenda? No? Okay, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, move to approve the agenda.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. The consent agenda. Is there a motion or discussion?
Make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you very much. All right, at this time, thank y'all. At this time, public comments, Mr. Bob Joyce. And you state your name and address for the record, please.
Bob Joyce. I'm here tonight representing the Sanford Area Growth Alliance. My address is 2003 Vantage Point here in Sanford. I was here on December 16th at public hearing and talked about Project Jupiter, so I won't reiterate those points, but I did want to tell you that the Saga Board highly recommends this project, the local investment, which we believe is a very competitive offer and one which also protects the taxpayers of Lee County. If the company chooses us, the resulting investment would have about the same annual payroll as the Brock Forge, the project that we announced in September. So both projects have annual payroll around $17 million, which would be great additions to our local economy. We would like to recommend that you approve this performance-based grant and allow us to transmit that to the company in the morning. And then they expect to make a decision very quickly. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Joyce. Okay, moving on to old business. You'll find on your agenda on page 54, the Dr. Mary Margaret McLeod mural proposal from Ms. Whitmore. No, you're fine. Good evening.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's good to be back. My name is Liz Whitmore. I work for the City of Sanford. My work address is 115 Chatham Street. We're super excited about this project. I think there's some photographs in your packet. I did bring the large board that maybe Kelly can take around so you can see it a little bit better. The proposals were due on September 6th of this past year, and we received 2 proposals. However, the one proposal did not meet the requirements of the request for proposal, so therefore it was disqualified. And the reason why it was disqualified was that they're required to do 11 by 17 drawing illustration of the proposed mural, plus to scale painting of the proposal, which the applicant didn't do. And beyond that, what he did provide, our standards are very, very high, and quality control is very important to us, is that he didn't provide in his samples any painting of people. And this is a mural that is very people-oriented, so that's very important to us. I do have that with me. If you do so choose to see it, I can show it to you. I do want to point out to you that we have some people here tonight that I think it's important for you to meet. Chris Dalton is the actual muralist. Chris, do you want to hold up your hand? And then we have on next to her Kelly Ladati, who's a Downtown Sanford Incorporated Director, Joanne Thaxton and Irene Smith, both members of the Public Arts Subcommittee, as Chris Dalton is, and also Jennifer Bridges. She's a sheriff with the county, and she's very supportive of the Public Arts program. And hopefully she's going to jump on board with us, and we're very excited about her also. I don't know if you have any specific questions about the mural. I have Chris Dalton here if you wish to ask any of those questions to her directly. But in the meantime, I do want to point out that we will install a plaque which will state who sponsored the mural and who were the contributors. So it would say simply something along the line that the Dr. Mary Margaret McLeod mural was sponsored by the Susan Reeves Literary Club. Individuals or companies that contribute $1,000, they're allowed to have their name. Some people choose not to have their name added. And citizen donations. And then we always had the month and the year of completion on the mural. We will also do a dedication that will be scheduled, an agreement with the county and the city, so all appropriate elected officials can be present if they so choose to be. We do raffle off the original painting, and those proceeds help to pay for the dedication, and any money is left over we put back into the public art program to support it. We will be adding it to our walking map, and we will make a note card for it also. And those note cards are really great when you have people coming to visit. Sometimes we put packets together with the note cards along with some other things that represent the county or the city. I do want to point out the plaque will probably be about this size. This is one that's going to be put up with bringing the arts together. Maybe a little bit more square looking. And then also, all of our public arts are now, you can see on an app called AutoCast. So this is the little sign that will go up. So if you download this app on your phone right now today, when you open up your phone, Sanford will show at the top, and it has every single piece of public art that's been installed, and they're narrated photographs, and there's numerous photographs of each one. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware that we would also put this on the mural too. And they're usually on the lower left-hand side, so they wouldn't interrupt the artistic quality of the mural. So if you have any questions for myself or for Chris Dalton, I'd be glad to answer them at this time. Oh, I do want to say target date, depending upon weather, it's always important to throw that in there, would probably be mid-April. And it would probably take about a good month, to complete the entire mural.
Any questions for Ms. Whitmore or?
Yeah, Madam Chair, can we pick that up so everybody can, I can't get it on my screen here, but when I first looked at it, one, you have an indoor theme and you have an outdoor theme. And when you see it superimposed on the side of the building, it kind of gets lost, really either or and not both.
Well, I think that would be something that Chris Dalton needs to answer. That is her original home that she lived in, and her office was behind the house. Krista, would you like to address this?
One of the criteria was to have her home, and that was part of it. So her home, of course, has to be outside. And then the other part was all the children to me, was an important factor in this particular piece. Now, if you wanted to expand, like the doctor's office, that would be fine, but then you would be losing the other part of it. So it would just kind of depend on how much do you want to emphasize what. I was emphasizing the children that were all, as you see, coming towards the office, and that's why the hanging sign outside was kind of like, here's her office, here's the kids coming to the office.
Did the original mural have a bigger profile?
Yes, the wall's 14 feet tall, 48 feet long.
I mean, of the doctor?
Yeah, she will be much larger. Chris was explaining that she could be brought forward, made larger, but then you're going to lose some of her other office elements, such as her diplomas, which are pretty important. She could be placed over to where the scale is, but you do start losing the doctor office look.
it would be emphasizing her, which is good, you know, but I really wanted her certificates in that. Now we could lose like the scale and the more of the doctor office look, bring her forward and do just more of her herself, which is fine too. But most of the people that I talk to, and there's a lot of them, in fact, one of the men that go to my church, that's his aunt, all right, and they were saying that the stool that's down by the table was the thing that a lot of people said they remember a lot of, was the fact that they had to get up on the stool to get up on the table.
The children are important because she raised 3 generations of children by Sandra.
At one time, she had 25,000 children, I think it was, that she had been a
Throughout
doctor
her
for. Yeah.
administering.
Throughout, yeah.
Throughout her career.
Any other questions or comments?
We got to put a crossing guard out there?
No, they're on the sidewalk, no. We'll paint you in there, Mr.
All
Reeves.
right, all right. I like the idea of enlarging her portrait.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would help some. I think it has more meaning if you can actually get a better view of the individual.
That can most certainly be done. Any revisions like that, would you want that brought back to you, or could we move forward, or I could send it via email?
I move to approve and let you move forward with it,
Okay.
with the revision.
Any more questions or discussion? Before we take the vote, just my part of the discussion, I definitely applaud your artistical concept. She was a doctor for my family and my husband's family for decades, and raised quite a few of all of us. But I do understand when we're thinking about, you know, those of us here in this room, a lot of us knew Dr. McLeod, grew up with her. But we hope that this will be here for a long time. And so maybe having her a little bit more predominant in the mural, for future generations that didn't know her may serve to honor her maybe a little bit better. And this is coming from a country girl that loves the rural part of the mural. You know, I love the home setting. So, okay, I think everybody kind of on the same page now. So there's a motion to approve with, you know, some requested tweaks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's beautiful. I can't wait.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
we
very
done.
lucky to have Chris Dalton here.
Yes.
And Scott Nurkin, who's done many of the other murals. We're just very fortunate that we've had this wonderful quality. Thank you.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
How many different artists have we had to do
The
the
murals?
different ones? Is it like
The murals,
just a
2.
couple? 2.
Only 2, yes.
Throughout the whole town.
Throughout the whole town.
Yeah, throughout the whole town, you know, of all the murals we have?
The ones that have been done since 2.
Just 2?
Chris Dalton and Scott Nurkin.
Yeah.
Yes,
So very, very fortunate.
yes.
They're
Gonna be a rough
very-
year, I see that.
They're very talented
We keep them
individuals.
busy.
Yes,
Thank
you do, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. That's really good. A lot of people love that. Okay, the next item under old business will be on page 60 of your agenda. It's a vote on economic development incentive grant for Project Jupiter. Ms. Parrish, Dr. Crumpton, anybody want to?
I'll be glad to take it.
Okay.
All right. The Board of Commissioners held a public hearing on Project Jupiter at their December 16th, 2019 meeting. Tonight, the board is being asked to approve the incentive agreements that are attached to your agenda. The company is investing $126 million over a 7-year period, with the county paying an incentive of $3.125 million. The company will employ 196 full-time employees with the average annual wage of $88,903. So as Mr. Joyce said, we expect a decision fairly quickly on this. And this company intends, if they locate here, to occupy the spec building.
Okay. Any questions or
Do we
discussion?
know, do we know the name of the project yet, the company?
We're not allowed to say just yet.
No, I'm just asking, okay. One other thing, I think when we have our budget talks, I think Commissioner Reeves and I had spoken about, looking forward ahead about, what our needs for schools are in the future and costs related to those and expenditures depending on, increased population, and make sure we don't get into a crunch in the future.
And so we tried to, at the last meeting, we did address that a little bit, trying to project out the student population. So be happy to expand on that and bring Mr. Kavaskas to the next, to the board retreat to talk about it.
Are they relocating any staff to this site?
This company,
Mhm.
yes, from what we were told, but most of the jobs will be new to this area. So, where this company is located, a few people, yes, will be relocated here.
And then I know it's a biotech company. Will it create any kind of competition for Pfizer in any way?
Probably with staff, and I think that'd be good for the staff. For a little employment competition.
So this company's not in Lee County?
They are not currently in Union County.
Any more questions or discussion?
What's the breakdown? Was it based on building, real estate, or industrial equipment? It didn't.
Most of it, let me pull up the spreadsheet here.
Real property.
Most of it was real property, showing the significant investment that they would be making into the building. So personal property was 42 million and real property was 84 million for a total of 126 million. And we did question that because normally that's in reverse, that the business personal property was more than the real estate, but they're making a huge investment into the building that will have to stay. They won't be able to move it out.
Okay. Any more questions?
No word on the product line?
I can't tell you that.
No?
Yeah.
I just thought I'd ask.
You get the answer if you vote yes.
Well, biotech, yes. Yes, it's a biotech company. Yes.
Madam Chair, I offer a motion to approve.
Okay. Any more?
We have
You
a,
want this particular?
yes,
Yeah.
please.
I move we approve the incentive grant agreement for Project Jupiter contingent on the company choosing to locate in Lee County and authorize staff to finalize the agreement with company's name and the chair to execute the agreement once the company provides an official announcement.
That's the same thing I said.
It's,
Okay. Just from a legal standpoint, from the attorney's recommendation, I want to make sure that was what you said.
I am.
Okay. All right. Any more questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, new business. I can't believe we're here again. On page 77. Thank you very much, everybody. Budget procedure calendar.
Yep, it's that wonderful time of the year again.
I tell you, it comes around too fast now.
It does. Our IT director and I were just discussing before the meeting that we just finished this, it
Yes.
seems like. But before you, you have the proposed calendar for fiscal year 2021 budget process. As you will see, we plan to start talking to our department heads on January 22nd at our next department head meeting. And then we'll follow up and get guidance from you, hopefully at your board retreat on 30th and 31st. And then we'll do some training with the department heads and other department staff on February 4th and pass on your goals to them. Budgets will be due in March 9th from the departments. The next key date of importance really to the board would be May 18th is when we propose presenting to you the manager's recommended budget. There will be the public hearing will be scheduled for June 1st, and then the adoption will be determined upon what you decide in June, when you want to adopt it in June. We have not set a date for any work sessions. We will not leave that up to you, so that's listed as to be determined on the second page of the calendar. And of course, our goal is to make sure we do have it adopted before June 30th.
Okay.
I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have or make any adjustments to the calendar that you want.
Any questions or comments?
Lisa, just what impact is the current budget standoff at the state having on us? I know it's not related to our schedule, but
Right now, we aren't seeing a major impact. I think it's a bigger impact to the schools than it is to us, which we are their fund balance in a way. So that's where the biggest impact could be, and I'll let Dr. Crumpton elaborate more on that than.
Yeah, with the mini budgets, the legislature took care of Health and Human Services pretty well, so we're not, except for the Medicaid expansion, which they scuttled, it's pretty much business as usual in the health department and DSS, so the other areas were also covered. So in talking with Dr. Bryan, I know there's some concern, there were some additional funds for staff and that kind of thing in the budget, which they've had to hold off on. Our school board, it's unlike some other school boards that went ahead and made some assumptions that money would be coming eventually. Dr. Bryan and his staff have been very conservative not to spend more than what they know is coming in until the budget is passed. So, but there are some staffing shortages within the school system, but until they know that the funds are coming, they can't hire those people.
Okay.
And of course, their raises, community colleges raises, all state employee raises, not all state employees, but some are held up.
Okay, any more questions for Ms. Mentor or comments on the proposed calendar, because we do have to vote on this? No? Okay.
Madam Chair, move to approve the budget as written.
Okay. All right.
Or excuse me, the budget schedule.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad I got the budget ready that fast. Yeah. It's gonna feel like it.
Should have had something in front of them.
It's gonna feel like it goes that fast, I'm sure. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then, when we have our budget retreat, it's a month from now, maybe we can talk about the work sessions and, at least get some proposed ones on the calendar. And we can always scuttle one if we don't need it or something. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, ma'am. All right, financial report.
You also have in front of you the financial report for the month of, should I say the right month? I'm getting myself confused. November 2019. As you will see at that point, we were about 1.23% behind on our property tax collections. Again, this is purely timing, we feel like. It appears that we've had a very strong December, and first part of January has gone well for us. I know we've made quite a few investments the last week of December and the first week of January, so we feel like we'll make that up. As far as expenditures go, the target's 41.67%. As you will see, of course, with encumbrances included, most all of our departments are over that target. If you back those encumbrances out, we still had several departments: finance, strategic services, county attorney, IT, fire marshal, economic development, conservation, that were over the target. All those had substantiated reasons for being over at this point and should round themselves out before the end of the year. You also have in front of you the sales tax reports, of which I alluded to at the last meeting, and you will see on those that we did have a very strong September, and we were seeing a growth of around 10% compared to the same time frame last year. So we are cautiously optimistic, as Dr. Crumpton will tell you about me. I'm always a little hesitant on those numbers, but we hope to continue. I don't think we'll continue to see that type of growth, but hopefully we'll maintain what we expect to that. At the last meeting, when I did the financial update for the year, Commissioner Reeves asked, I did a capital project update through June 30th. Commissioner Reeves asked me to update that to a more current number. So what's coming around to you now is what I put together for our expenditures on capital projects and our revenues through December 31st, 2019. And I'll wait till each of you get it, and I'll just briefly go through them to kind of tell you where we are. Okay, on the Stanley Park Nature Center, as of December 31st, we only have like $193 in that project left, so we will be closing that project out before the end of this fiscal year. That small amount of money will be transferred back to the general fund balance. As far as this community college projects, the Health Science Center, you can see there's still about $214,000 left in that at this time, which is about $36,000 lower than it was at June. They have in their plans about $50,000 left to spend on equipment that they need to complete, but they've had a changeover in directorship, so they're trying to get their ducks in a row to finish that out. On the Vet Tech, they've spent about another $298,000 since the June 30th report. They have finished the road to the proposed large animal facility, but you'll see there in the notes that when they bid the facility, it came in higher than anticipated, so they are regrouping and trying to figure out a way to do that within the budget. So hopefully they'll get that in to us pretty quick, and we can get that one closed out. Based on what direction I get from you, we can direct them to make sure they get moving and get those things closed out before June 30th, if at all possible. Civic Center, they've have spent very little since June 30th, and you can see there that the trustees have reprioritized some of the needs for the Civic Center. There is a concern that there needs to be a set of steps to the back parking lot behind the Civic Center now, if I understand that correctly. And they are looking into that. So that's the holdup on that. The main camp, main campus and ESTC. The STC is done. The main campus was going to be several different renovation projects. They have finalized a few of those, but still have a few more they are working on. So they're down to about $216,000 in that project, which is $161,000 roughly less than it was at June 30th. The elementary school facility, you can see there's been about a $4 million drop in those funds. They currently still have $705,000 roughly encumbered to American South, who's the general contractor. Of course, I think there are probably still some bills coming for furnishings, and there'll be an outstanding bill to the architect before the completion. Outside that, they don't tell us everything they've encumbered. I had the major contract, but that was really all I had encumbered. The courthouse complex, as you know, we're waiting to do bids on that. So that's the design and work to get that within budget has been a holdup there. So we hope to start spending some of that soon. The same thing with the park improvements. We did spend about $136,000 since June. Some of that is at Let Park, obviously, and some of it's been the architect working on the plans for to get us out to bid on the other projects. The Lee County Government Center renovations has only dropped about $1,700, but that's just the startup of this project, and that'll be funded better when we do the financing for the Project Forge land purchase and the Government Center and additional courthouse funds. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have or any comments.
Questions?
How often do you anticipate providing this information, quarterly or what?
I will do it as often as you would like. I can add it monthly if you want, or I can do it every quarter, and once a quarter with the regular monthly financial
Quarter is
report.
fine, I think.
That's fine.
Unless you
If
see it fleeting too soon, call me. Some people get happy.
It's been a long time since we had this many projects going at one time, so.
I don't think we've ever had this many projects.
I wanted to make sure that we keep y'all as up to date as y'all would like to be.
And one of the reasons I have a concern, especially for the school, new elementary school, there's a possibility, and with the board's approval, I would ask that we consider contacting the Sanford Housing Authority and inquire about leasing the county the ball field that connects to Wicker School for the use of the Board of Education.
What about the old Boys and Girls Club building?
When I inquired, I was told that under a new contract agreement with the Housing Authority, that property is going to be rehabbed and made available to the community it currently sits in, which the ball field was not included in that deal as I understand it. And if we were able to acquire it for the Board of Education, we can improve it for the community as well. And there seems to be some funds available for doing the improvement we talked about. And the Board of Education does have an interest in it.
Okay. So there's a motion for that. Any discussion?
So
What field are we talking about?
do you know where Church Street is?
On the back side of the elementary school.
The W.B. Wicker?
Yes.
The
I'm trying
field
to
adjoins
visualize
it.
it.
So in the new W.B. Wicker Center, if you're in the back parking lot, and the woods are back there,
Right.
the field is in that back corner. So
Is it
kind
actual-
of behind the gymnasium,
Okay. So
on the gymnasium side of the facility.
it's not the Horton Park up the road.
No.
Okay.
It's been used as a baseball field during the summer. There's enough property there to probably offer a small soccer field or a regular soccer field as well.
And it's in good it's in good shape.
Grass
It's got a
shape.
fence around it, and,
Yeah.
it's been kept up, and it's on that dead-end street. And it literally is, you walk off the playground at W.B. Wicker and you're right there. Yeah, okay,
And like I said, we're just making a request at this point.
sure. Any more comments? Okay, so the motion is just to inquire to the Stanford Housing Authority. I'm looking at the attorney about the possibility of leasing, or would you want to put purchase in there, or just leasing?
I'd rather lease it for
Okay.
$1 and be
I got
done
you.
with it.
I'm just making clear.
Thank you.
Okay, the baseball field property adjoining W.B. Wicker. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. That's a good idea, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay. I'm looking at the.
Yes, ma'am. I do have one item to discuss. I'm sure several of you have probably received complaints from man convenience centers by our citizens. We've had a number of snafus over the last couple weeks. Bad time, because this is a time of year where our man convenience centers get a big increase in volume. So we've had some issues with our contractor, Waste Industries. They've had some equipment down and haven't been able to pull the boxes in a timely fashion. We also had an issue out at Colon Road where we, about 2 months ago, ordered a new compactor. Compactor came in, had the wrong motor in it. So we had already pulled out the old compactor because of it was worn out, was not doing a very good job. So we've been fighting with the company over them giving us the right compactor with the right motor in it for the one-phase power out there. We do not have three-phase power out there. So that should be rectified this week. So we should have a compactor up and working at Colon Road. On top of that, we lost our boom truck
Up and working by,
the end of the week.
anyways, thank you.
Our boom truck was supposed to be up today. I didn't get word whether it was up or not, but we have a clam boom truck that goes out, and anything that ends up on the ground we pick up with the boom truck, and it has been down for the last 2 weeks as well, and we've had to have cylinders rebuilt on it. So just a calamity of things. We also have seen an increase in volume. We were talking about growth and its impact on schools. We have growth and it's impacted our main convenience center. So we'll be talking to you all at the board retreat about possibility, either expanding our main convenience centers or building new ones to handle some of that growth. Because not all the residential growth is occurring inside the city limits. So I've been here 12 and a half years. We have not built a new man convenience center in that 12 and a half years. Matter of fact, I think it's been more like 15 years since we either expanded or built a new one. So I apologize to the citizens. Yes, it looks bad, and we are going to get it cleaned up this week.
Well, that was one of the things that was on my commissioner comments, because I have pictures people are sending me of our
Yes, they
convention
got a
centers.
hold of me today.
Yeah, and I've got phone calls.
Welcome
and
back to
stuff.
work. So
Yeah, well, I mean, yes. And so
Got it over
I'm
the
looking
weekend.
at Ms. Brown back there, you know, if we could get something on social media, just sort of explaining, you know, what the issue is. And like you said, it is just a combination of things beyond our control. But it hit at the worst possible time, Christmas, when everybody has additional trash. So,
and we are reviewing the volumes to make sure they are our volumes, because we have, you know, as the board members who have been here longer know that we have the residents in the unincorporated areas pay a fee to use those man convenience centers. The city residents do not pay any fee to use the man convenience centers. So there's some belief from our workers that we have some poachers come into the man convenience centers either from inside the city or outside the county from our neighboring counties. And Wilson Road and Colon Road historically have been the two sites that we get some neighbors who come and use those sites.
share their trash.
They share the trash. It's just trash, but it does cost money to get rid of it. So, you know, we are going to do a little review to make sure it's our trash that we're responsible for.
Those sites have to be built on county-owned property?
They should, yes, sir. They don't have to. We could always lease a site if someone wanted to do the $1 a year donation thing. It'd be fine.
That'd be great.
I only ask because if you remember the 900-plus house development out in that same area, yes,
Yeah.
is going to be
It's the city.
They should be in the city,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean they won't come down the street and try to use that man convenience center.
That's exactly right.
And
So-
then we may be having the same discussion we've had over the years about some type of decal or
Right.
something on your vehicle to delineate whether you're in the county or in the city and can
Right.
use the trash or facilities there.
The city is in the county. It's,
Well,
whether you're in the
right.
unincorporated
Right,
areas of the
unincorporated, thank
county.
you for the correction, exactly,
ma'am.
yes.
Because you know, the people need to understand that you know, there's a solid waste fund that pays for that operation. Your general fund taxes that you pay do not go to the operation of those man convenience centers. We do not transfer any funds over there to help pay for it. So it's an enterprise fund. We run it as an enterprise, and so you know, we have to be aware of that. So.
Just saying.
Oh, I know. And I will say, I haven't seen Woodland Trails
Okay.
look as bad as it looked today.
I didn't
Ever.
bother going by.
You
Can't
don't,
lift things.
I can show you a picture, but it's not pretty.
It didn't look good. I got the
There is
picture.
It's not good.
Woodland's been more than once. I made a comment the last time.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah,
So we think we have, you know, we could have capacity issues.
right.
You know, we just want to make sure that capacity is, before we go adding sites, we want to make sure that that capacity is really what we're responsible
It's
for.
Lee County capacity.
It is unincorporated
Unincorporated.
county capacity. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all. Glad to be back to
Anything
work.
else? Okay, we're glad you're back.
Can only have so much fun.
Okay, Commissioner comments, Commissioner Smith?
Yes, Madam Chair, just wanted to
Yes,
reiterate the fact that we have over 4,000 paratroopers from Fort Bragg who are deployed, and the conditions in the world. I just ask that everyone be respectful of the fact that their lives are on the line. These are men, women, family members, friends, and just keep them in our prayers, please.
No, I hope everybody had a great holiday, and safe holiday, best holiday. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope everybody had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thank you, Lisa, for the nice report you gave us on the project. That was good to see. And look forward to a lot of good work getting done this year.
I agree also that we certainly should keep our troops in our prayers, because it looks like things could get nasty over there. We don't know. And also, I would certainly appreciate everyone's thoughts, prayers, and comments. I was involved in an accident the last commissioners meeting. I was on my way here, and I was in an intersection of Pendergrass and US 1, which is a pretty busy intersection. Proceeded on out into the intersection, had a green light, and I got creamed pretty good in the passenger side. Worst thing really was the airbag hit my eye and burned a small place in my eye, which that should heal. But boy, those airbags come out quick. If any of y'all ever been in a wreck where airbags blow, but I thank God for his protection and thank God for side airbags. So.
Absolutely. Glad you're okay. I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I'm excited about the murals. I know that driving downtown, it brightens the city, and so looking forward to that. And Happy New Year to everyone.
Commissioner Reese?
Welcome back, folks. One of the things I'd ask the board and the chair to consider is we have some dedicated staff that show up at our meetings and sit through it, and we ought to recognize them when they are here if they choose to be recognized. I think that would, sometimes folks need to know who the tax man is.
He's like, why?
I'm just joking with you.
Why?
Because today was tax day.
That's right.
Last day to pay without penalty.
That's right. So don't
If you
call
haven't
me.
paid, don't call.
Do not call me anyway. I do have one thing that I want to bring to your attention. If you have one of these concealed carry locations, like, maybe brings a big question to mind, and we need to really work on that one. The ones where you have maybe. Any of you know what I'm talking about? If you look at your map. Okay, put it on the agenda for next time.
Okay.
Maybe it's too confusing. I'm afraid that's not
It should be
good.
yes or no, right?
Like what?
It should be yes or no.
Some locations aren't
There's
yes or
three.
no.
Oh, really?
And mostly they're parks and rec locations, because
But there ought to be a recommendation to
if there's a ball
call.
game going, let's say baseball field, Buchanan Park would be a good example. If there's a baseball game going on, there's no concealed carry. If there's no baseball game going on, concealed carry is allowed.
Right.
So that's why it's a maybe.
And that rule is due
State law.
State
state
law.
law?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Thank you.
public gathering.
Well, in these cases, then, we ought to either post it at those locations or request folks to call a certain number to get clarity when you see maybe. I just don't think maybe is a good response.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, just again, Happy New Year. Glad to see everybody back safe and sound. And we will be working on budget in about 3.5 weeks at our retreat. So we'll get that time, date, schedule, all that good stuff to everybody shortly. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
6:45.
Excuse me?